Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Petco Park in San Diego. Yonder Alonso was red hot in the last homestand as the Padres were inspired. 5-1 their record last visit here on their home base. And they entertain the San Francisco Giants tonight, and that means Buster Posey's in town. He is torrid at Petco the last 8 games, hitting .343 with 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. As you look at the National League West standings, the Giants creeping 1/2 game behind the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Diamondbacks still in the hunt, then the Padres and the Rockies. And from beautiful Petco Park, welcome on this Friday night to the first of a 3-game weekend series, the San Francisco Giants and the San Diego Padres. And good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Grant, Dick Henberg, pleased that you're with us. The Padres moving up on that 500 mark, playing at home. Mark Grant, they're now 10-2 in their last 12 games. Would like to keep that going.
Yeah, get a good feel at home after the road trip. Sure, it was tough in Atlanta, but you're back at your home digs. Hopefully you get some good pitching. And when you look at the Padres and the remaining games this year in the National League West, Dick, the Giants, yeah, tough to beat. They're 3-6 against the Giants this year. Los Angeles, 4-8. The one team that sticks out, the Diamondbacks, they're 5-4. So collectively, with these games remaining, they're 12-18. Folks, it all boils down to making good plays, getting good pitching, and timely hitting. And hopefully from Yasmani Grandal, the Padres can get some good hitting from the 23-year-old rookie catcher.
Grandal up from Lake Elsinore. He had a couple of rehab games, did not get a base hit, but took full swings, felt no pain in that side muscle.
And it's so good to have him back with that punch and with that pop from both sides of the plate. Hopefully he's not going to skip a beat and get right behind the plate and do some good things for the Padres. Now on the other side of the scorecard, Buster Posey, the 25-year-old, he's Rookie of the Year, he's won a World Series. This guy's a leader, Dick. He's accountable, he is consistent, and quite frankly, he's fun to watch.
.434, that's just out of this world since the All-Star break. That's close to the all-time record batting average after the All-Star break. Let's see if the Padre pitching can hold down Posey in the middle of that lineup that is without Melky Cabrera, and we'll get into that a bit later. The pitching matchup, an interesting one. Matt Cain, a perfect game earlier this year, but he's had trouble winning against the Padres. And Ross Ohlendorf has had difficulties on the road, but he is 2-0 at home. We're set for action. Play ball.
Thanks, Sheila.
And we're set to go. Ross Ollendorf against the San Francisco Giants on this beautiful Friday night at Petco Park. First of a 3-game series. The Giants have held a 6-3 mark against San Diego under Bruce Bochy this year. And here's his lineup in the opener. It'll be Angel Pagan leading off with Marco Scutaro, acquired since we last played San Francisco. Pablo Sandoval, injured in the series against the Padres, is back in the lineup. Buster Posey cleanup. Hunter Pence acquired as well just before the trade deadline. Brad Belt, the young first baseman, has come to life. He's one of their hottest hitters. Gregor Blanco in left field. That was Melky Cabrera's spot. And Landon Crawford, the shortstop. Matt Cain, the pitcher. Cain has hit 6 home runs in his major league career as a batter. Ollendorf had his 30th birthday a week or so ago from Austin, Texas, and we're underway. First pitch is out of there to Angel Pagan, a .277 hitter. Ollendorf hoping to continue his fine pitching here at Petco, where he's 2-0 with a 1.93 ERA and opposing hitters batting only .200.
Yeah, and Darren Balsley said that in between starts he had a great bullpen. If he would rate it 1 to 10, a 9.95 from Ross Ollendorf. He's made a couple of adjustments, Dick.
Had a little trouble on the road. In fact, knocked around a bit in his last outing. And the Padres returned home and held their own against 2 playoff contenders, Pittsburgh and Atlanta, on their home grounds. Came home 3-4. Pretty good. 91, and the count goes 3-1. Tom Hallion calling the balls and strikes. Alfonso Marquez, Brian Onora, Chad Fairchild on the bases. High fly ball, shallow in center. Alexi Amarista for Cameron Maben tonight. And that leads us to our defense for the Padres, brought to you by Mazda, with Quentin Amarista and Venable in the outfield. Headley, Cabrera, Forsythe, Alonso around the horn. Yasmani Grandal back from the disabled list. That side injury that took him out of the lineup in Cincinnati. He said he feels fine. Went 0 for 7 at Lake Elsinore in 2 games, but took full cuts and in many ways swinging and missing better than making contact and testing the injury.
Absolutely right, Dick. That's a great point. I mean, it's such a different feel when a hitter swings and misses and gets fully extended. So no side effects. He's good to go. It's good to have him back.
Marco Scutaro, one of the new Giants. And he's ahead on the count, 2-0. Scutaro with the Rockies. He too, a deal made just at the trade deadline.
Good pickup for the Giants. Marco Scutaro. Scrappy.
3-1.
Can fight off pitches on the inside part of the plate. Set it up for Sandoval.
Seasoned veteran at 36. And the count goes full. So Ollendorf falls to a 3-ball count on Pagan. Got him to fly to center, and now from 3-0 works the count full. That ball is crushed to left field. Quentin going back, and he's running out of room. Leaps. And the Giants take a 1-0 lead. Number 6 for Scutaro. And a lot of Giants fans applaud that effort.
But with the way that Carlos Quentin was going back to the wall, I thought he had a beat on it. And you talk about a great try. Oh, just out of his reach. That ball, Dick, it looks like it hit beyond, just on top of the fence there, maybe a little bit beyond it, but a great effort by Carlos.
Right on the top edge of the wall. That close. He came inches from making a spectacular catch, but the inches are in favor of the Giants, and they lead 1-0. Here's Pablo Sandoval. It wasn't a bad pitch. Ball was diving low and in.
It was a 2-seamer down and in. Scutaro through the bat head. It was a full count.
Sandoval back in the lineup, just a point under 299. Scutaro is a fly ball hitter, and his first elevated shot tonight is good for a run. In on the hands and popped right back toward us. Didn't quite have enough distance. Falls just a couple of feet down in the little press level below. Certainly warmer than usual this night in San Diego. Temperature at game time over 80 degrees. That doesn't happen very often. Matt Cain staked to an early 1-0 lead. Hot and humid. Big thunderheads off in the distance. Out in your part of the world, lots of thunderstorms.
Yeah, a lot of thunderheads. Had some lightning, rain. It's not so much the heat, it's the humidity.
2-2. Struck him out. Brings us to our Lexus keys to the game, Mark Drains.
Well, how about a milk-free diet? Take the Melky Cabrera out of the lineup, and Padres hoping they can feast because he was given the 50-game suspension for using PEDs, so got to take advantage of that. And the Petco 500. It's not a new NASCAR race. It's the record that the Padres can reach sometime this homestand, getting back to 500 at their home digs, and hopefully they can get to Matt Cain in tonight's first game of the series with the Gigantes.
They start tonight 27-30 at home. They've had a good run of home victories, 10 wins in the last 12 home games. And if they win tonight, that'll be 5 in a row. That's their longest, or would be their longest winning streak of the season. 1 strike to Posey. 1-1. Posey hitting .330 among the league leaders. The last 8 games at Petco, .343. With 4 homers and 12 runs batted in. He has 19 homers on the season. And he's going to be a all-star for the next 10 years. He's always hit well at Petco. .323 lifetime.
You know, the one thing that Buster Posey possesses is that he doesn't get flustered. It always seems like he's cool and calm, collected, both behind the plate and at the dish.
Breaking ball. 2-2.
Now, the last time that the Padres pitched to these Giants, particularly Buster Posey, was down and away. Enjoy that hot dog, big boy. You have another one after that.
Yeah. That was inside as our Fox Tracks, brought to you by Southland Technology, testifies. It was a good call.
They pitched Buster Posey down and away consistently with fastballs and breaking stuff.
One hopper knocked down by Cabrera, and he throws Posey out. Posey running a little better than when we saw him a couple of months ago. But the Giants get on the board early. Marco Scudero measured this one just right in length, and it's 1-0 Giants. Just 4G network, AT&T, rethink possible. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Burger King. Come play family food, where every game piece has a prize. And the Padres come up in the bottom of the first inning here at Petco Park. Bud Black's lineup juggled as always. We'll give it to you in a moment because Alexi Amarista, the leadoff man, is ready to go, and so is the right-hander Matt Cain for the Giants. And he fires a fastball strike. There are his numbers. What makes him so special?
Well, he's a special pitcher. You got that right. The fastball, the slider, the curve, and the change. Matt Cain has become more of a pitcher as he's gotten older.
Lifted foul down the left field side.
And pitched at the big league level. I think when Matt Cain first came up, he was just a thrower. Now he's got a better idea of where that fastball is going, how to locate the breaking ball. His velocity is maybe 92, 93.
The Padres are the one team that's done the most damage to his one-loss record. They've beaten him 11 times, lost only 6 times.
You know, the one thing that sticks out to me, Dick, when these Padres have faced Matt Cain is that they've taken advantage of the bad fastball. If he's thrown a bad fastball during an at-bat, they've jumped all over it and got on board with a base hit.
He'll throw some home runs. He's a fly ball pitcher. 2-2 now to Amarista. In fact, he's second in the entire National League in fly ball outs. And of course at AT&T Park in San Francisco with that big yard as it would be here.
Sure.
Fly ball pitchers, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Dave Righetti, the pitching coach for the Giants, keeping a close eye on his right-hander,
who falls to 3-2 after jumping out to a 2-strike advantage.
Yeah, last 8 starts for Matt Cain. He's given up 10 home runs, so that's been a big part of the game for Matt Cain.
Shot foul, and in fact, since he pitched the perfect game in mid-June, at that time he was 8-2. Since that time, he's 3-3, and his ERA is a full 2 points higher than it was back when he threw the perfect game in June. So he's an all-star pitcher, but decreased a bit in the numbers. Broken bat, pop fly, belt the first baseman, one away. Shattered bat, half of it at home plate, the other almost made it to first base. Here is the Padres batting lineup with Amarista followed by Forsythe, Headley, Carlos Quinton in the cleanup spot. Yasmani Grandal back in the big club and hitting fifth, followed by Yonder Alonso, the fellow Hurricane, Will Venable, Everett Cabrera, and Ollendorf. Logan Forsythe had a good road trip. He was 7 for 16, had a home run, the only run scored in the last 3 games against Atlanta. Lay down that swing.
You see that Matt Cain at times will elevate that fastball. It's really tough to get on top of it. As we take a look at the shattered bat, where'd he get? Into the kitchen. That was down below the label.
One and two to Forsythe.
Hey, he's got the look. He's got the 16-ouncer in one hand and the 5-ouncer in the other hand.
Another late swing by Forsythe. Cain feeding those fastballs in on his hands. So 3 with the Giants starting tonight, tomorrow night, and 1 o'clock Sunday, Military Sunday. And then it'll be the Pirates in for 3. Spoils that pitch. Safety swing. Just a note on the follow-up from Atlanta. Chipper Jones on his own bobblehead night last night hit 2 home runs. Hit another tonight. He's something. 1 and 2. Swings at a ball in the dirt. Slider fools Forsythe. There's 2 away. Look at the defense of the Padres, brought to you by Mazda. Blanco, Pagan, and Pence in the outfield. Sandoval, Crawford, Scudero, and Belt on the infield. Cain and Posey the battery. The Giants defense. Blanco taking over in left field with Cabrera done for the year with a 50-game suspension. Headley swings at the first pitch, pops it up, middle of the diamond. Sandoval calling right on the mound. That's a tough play. He's going up the slope. And Kane retires the Padres 1-2-3.
And the best teams are the teams with the best records. So we get excited anytime the Giants or the Dodgers or we get to go play Atlanta or Pittsburgh. I mean, it's a lot of fun for us to either fill that spoiler role, but we don't necessarily look at it as a spoiler. We look at it as like, okay, if this is the best team, how do we stack up? How do we compete? And what can we do in a series against them? So we're looking to try to take every single series we play against those good teams, and it gives us confidence not only moving into the end of September, but into 2013.
And, you know, that's kind of a reflection of what skipper Bud Black said, too. He said, we respect the schedule, and these guys are trained to play the schedule out. So if it gets down to the point where they are the quote-unquote spoiler, they'll let the chips fall where they may. But as it stands right now, they're playing the schedule out.
All right, thank you, CS. Baker articulating very well exactly what the final 6 weeks of this season means to the Padres. For the bulk of the games that are left against the NL West, they have 36 of their final 42 games are going to be against the NL West.
And hopefully they can improve that record at 19-23 against the West.
Free swinging Hunter Pence. Pence acquired from the Phillies, hitting .259, but he has struggled against Padre pitching, 1 for 26. And he swings and misses, consistently going after breaking balls out of the strike zone. That was a slider. That's our Saquon Vacation strikeout here early tonight.
And remember, Hunter Pence does not have to have a ball in the zone to swing at. You can expand that strike zone just like Ollendorf did on the slider. That was all upper body, bad looking hack by Hunter Pence for the big strikeout.
Brings up Brad Belt. When we last saw Belt, he was really struggling at the plate. And he's gotten it together. And this young guy has raised his average to .267. That's some 37 points just in the last 18 games. So watch out. Hitting .451 the last 18 games.
I know it sounds so simple, but I know it's a nail biter, Pablo Sandoval. You betcha. But Brandon Belt using the whole field, swinging at strikes. You know, it sounds easier. It's easier said than done. He lays off that breaking ball.
2-1. Ollendorf about to offer his 30th pitch already here in the second inning.
You're going to see a lot of two-seamers tonight from Ross Ollendorf. Kind of like Jason Marquis on the right, what he is used to throwing to get grounders. There's a nice two-seam action down and away.
Well placed.
And also, Ollendorf has moved over a little bit more, Dick, towards the first base side of the rubber. It's not totally over towards the right side, but he's made a little bit of adjustment. Looks like towards the middle there.
And another full count.
So remember the Louis Tiant turn? He incorporated that a little bit ago just to get a little bit more oomph on his pitches and throwing a little deception as well.
Belt, the former University of Texas Longhorn. They feel he's got a big future ahead. He's only 24. 5th round selection 3 years ago, and he made the jump to the big leagues in a hurry. Was there for 187 at bats last year after just 1 year in the minors. Line drive right at Forsythe. 2 away.
Well, got a high breaking ball. He hit it well, perfectly placed to Logan Forsythe. You know, a lot of pitchers are going to get hurt up there. Fortunately, Logan Forsythe at second base is there to squeeze it for the out.
Brings up Gregor Blanco. Trying to pick up for Melky Cabrera. Not quite the power and all-around game of Cabrera, who is done for the year after leading the major leagues in hits and runs scored. Had a tremendous season for San Francisco, but quickly admitted his guilt in using testosterone. Saw Blanco in spring training, and he was impressive then. He's from Venezuela, another player from that country, 28 years of age.
And you know, quite frankly, you know, there are players that are upset. I think that's only normal when a player like that, Melky Cabrera, encounters what he did. I mean, those are big shoes to fill.
High fly ball hit well to right field. Venable turns his back, races to the fence, and makes the catch. Will Venable, great read, angles to the fence, doesn't shy, and takes extra bases away. That's a pretty outfield play. Will Venable. That came. Still a young pitcher, only 27. 78 career wins. And we've said it before, not just this year, because he pitched a perfect game, is every time he takes them out, if he has his best stuff, you might be in store for something really special.
No doubt.
Big swing by Quentin, 1-1.
And you know, I don't care if it was the Houston Astros. It could be, you know, the worst team in baseball. I don't care. You throw a perfect game, you're doing something right. But you're right, though. Matt Cain, each and every time out, he can do something special.
The Padres, with and without Quentin, with him in the lineup, they're 500 team, 29-29. Without him, they're 16 games below 500, 23-39. So he's made a big impact. Strike three on the inside corner and barely there at the knees. And Quentin rightfully had a chance to question the call. It was a perfect pitch from Cain.
Posey set up down and in. Two-seam action. Posey sticks it right there. It looks like it's right at the knees. It might have been in off the plate a little bit, but he gets the call.
Brings up Yasmani Grandal. Welcome back. He comes out swinging. Before the injury, there are his numbers: 312 with 5 homers. Change up 1-1.
And Matt Cain knows that Yasmani Grandal has got some serious pop in that bat, so he pulls the string after getting ahead 0-1.
That's a strike for Grandal to be activated. The Padres obviously had to make a move, and Nick Hundley has been placed on the 15-day disabled list with a bruised knee. We saw that happen last 2 games ago in Atlanta. Ground ball sharply left side, backhanded by Crawford. 2 away. Here is the transaction. Hundley took a foul tip. It hit him right 2 nights ago, right on the kneecap. And you could see at the time that he was wincing. So he's on the 15-day disabled, makes room for Grandal.
And that oblique injury is such a touchy injury. You got to make sure you're 100%.
Former college teammate of Grandal. Here's Yonder Alonso. Takes a strike. Cain pounding the strike zone. Time now for our San Diego County Credit Union factoid of the game. There's the evidence. June 16th, when he pitched the perfect game, 8-2, 2.18 ERA. Since then, 10 games, 3-3, and a 4.18 ERA. Ground ball. Brad Belt, the first baseman, to the bag. 6 up, 6 down for Matt Cain. The Giants lead 1-0.
You know, Melky was having a real nice year for us, but, you know, our thoughts are right now we move on. That's all you can do, whether there's an injury or something like this. And And this team will remain focused on trying to win ball games.
Our Geico quote of the game from manager Bruce Bochy of the Giants regarding Melky Cabrera, who is hitting .346, leading the league in runs, 84, hits 159, chipped in with 11 home runs and 60 runs batted in, stole 13 bases. He's gone. And the Giants have to move on as if this were a season-ending injury. Brandon Crawford, shortstop, hitting .244. He too has raised his average since the last time the Padres played the Giants. Former UCLA star. And the count goes 2-1.
So Hunter Pence enter the veteran outfielder to try to push those Giants by the LA Dodgers the last 6 weeks of the season. Talk about a horse race. It's going to be interesting once again.
Interesting. Giants get Pence. Dodgers get Victorino. Giants get Scudero. Dodgers get Hanley Ramirez.
That's right.
And they're a half game separated, and the Dodgers currently are in extra innings in Atlanta, tied with the Braves 3-3. Line drive left field. Quinton over to the gap and can't get there. Crawford around first and will coast into second base with a double, leading off the third. So he's giving the Giants some good positive action from the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, the number 8 spot, always a tough place to hit in the National League with the pitcher coming up next. But that's a perfect example of going down and realizing what Ohlendorf is going to give you and not trying to pull that ball. If he tries to pull that ball, it's an 18 hopper to the right side. So good hitting going the other way for Brandon Crawford.
Grandal to talk to Ohlendorf as Matt Cain handles the bat well. Padres looking for the sacrifice. Cain with 4 sacrifice bunts this year. Ball 1.
He wants to bunt this ball down the third base line. Draw Chase Headley in. Get him away from that bag. Ohlendorf can crash third base, get to that ball quickly, and possibly throw him out at third.
Popped in the air. Grandal has the first out. Cain won't be happy about that effort.
In fact, he might be raising Cain back in that dugout, not getting that bunt down. Working underneath it. Grandal, big key, getting rid of that mask. So does not impair your vision on the fly ball. Does a nice job. That's a big out for the Padres.
And he had to find his way around plate umpire Hellion too to get there.
I think that's the only time that you can make contact with the umpire. Hey, get out of my way. Give him the forearm shiver so you can make that.
That's their one chance. Leadoff hitter Pagan flied to center his first time. Just outside, 90 on that fastball. Scudero, the home run hitter, on deck. There you go. Yes, he did. Slider.
Hey, that's a good pitch after falling behind 1-0. Trust the slider. And you betcha he goes. If he hits it, it would have been a double.
Potential triple.
Especially if he puts it in that gap in right center.
That's certainly a sarcastic double.
Yeah.
1-1. Watch out. That scatters some orange shirts. Giant fans down on that side of the ball yard. Lost his sunglasses, but that doesn't matter. He's the local hero with that baseball.
I'd like to welcome the members from Caltrans. Just get done cleaning up the highway, enjoying a big league ball game.
Love you. Mean it. Line drive into the right field corner. That's trouble. Crawford will come around to score. Pagan, the second. He's going to keep on going. Here's the throw by Forsythe, and they don't get him. Had the throw been on line, he was a dead duck, but Headley had to go to the outfield side to catch the ball, and by the time he swept the tag, Pagan able to skid in under the ball. So a double and a triple, and the Giants now lead 2-0.
Oh, remember that slider earlier? It was down out of the zone. Pagan could not hit it. That one was just too fat. Up in the zone, speeding up his bat, and then great hustle by Pagan. Picking up Flannery at third base. The third base coach, Tim Flannery, he gets the green light and slides in with an RBI triple.
And now the Giants can pick up a run on and out. The infield will pull in for the Padres. Try to cut off Pagan at the plate. Scudero takes ball one. His home run just out of the reach of Quentin, just on the top of the wall in front of the 357 sign. That's a strike. This is how close this was to being an out. Just out of the reach of Quentin. Didn't go into the first row.
Great effort.
1 ball, 1 strike. Line drive center field. Amaristo will play it on a hop. In comes Pagan. 3-0 Giants. Scudero with a couple of RBIs in his first 2 at bats.
Well, Ross Ollendorf not getting away with many elevated pitches. We talked about the triple to Pagan. Triple. Slider just kind of rolling up there. Right down the middle of the plate. And the higher you throw the breaking ball, the less it's going to break. It's just going to stay flat. That's exactly what happened on that slider. Dumped into center field for the RBI.
Brings up Pablo Sandoval. He struck out swinging first time. Well, Ollendorf, his last 4 starts, has gone 1-3 with an 8.64 ERA, and he's given up 3 runs already with just 1 out here in the 3rd. And the triples have been the thing for these Giants. Maybe one of the most unusual statistics you're going to find in baseball this year, and you might have to hunt a long time to find the match to it. At home at AT&T Park, the Giants have more triples than home runs. Now, when's the last time you heard that stat in mid-August? Triple and a home run here tonight. 1-1 to Sandoval.
Well, you know, Mark Sweeney's down by the dugout, by the Padre dugout, but with the absence of Melky Cabrera, we know all the details on that. I think this Giant team, Mark, knows what they have to do to try to make up the difference.
I think, Mark, what you think of too as a player, you want to just step up and replace that, and replace it by emotion. It's really the only thing you can do is really come up and step up. It's opportunity for somebody else, but also as the ball club, you have to step in and understand that you got to really pick up your game as well.
Yeah, it really shows what the makeup of a ball club is all about when something like this happens.
Souvenir finds the home fans.
Cocktails.
1-2 to Pablo Sandoval. Blocked by Grandal.
A good pitch because Ollendorf knows that Sandoval will chase the bad pitch. I mean, he's a bad ball hitter. See that emblem on his helmet, the SF? I've seen him swing at pitches up there. And of course, pitchers will bounce a ball at the plate and he'll swing at it. And Ollendorf is right there. Yeah, that's exactly what he's thinking, trying to keep it out of the zone and down.
Some of the Giant fans start chanting, "Let's go Pablo," and the Padres trying to drown them out with "Let's go Padres." A spirited audience tonight at Petco. Runner goes, fouled away.
Scudero has 7 stolen bases despite those 36-year-old legs.
You know, Mark Sweeney, that last play, judging by what I just said about Sandoval, you know, he'll swing it in. That's a great situation to put that runner in motion because he's such a good bad ball hitter.
It is. And you know what, Scudero, before on that breaking ball in the dirt, he was upset at himself not reading that ball in the dirt. If you understand, that's one of those, if you're in front of Sandoval, that's going to happen. Exactly what you talked about. You're going to pitch out of the zone. You got to anticipate that.
One out, 2 runs in. A double, Crawford. RBI triple, Pagan. His 8th, all hitting left-handed. RBI single, Scudero. He goes again. Outside, Grandal's throw. Hits the runner, and that'll move Scudero to third base. 8th stolen base. Charged Grandal with the error.
There's a fastball away, and it's yanked, hitting Scudero in the back. Now, was Grandal a little bit too quick? He has been working on his footwork behind home plate, working on technique thrown to second base.
And that brings the infield in again against Sandoval with a 3-2 count. This is where Ohlendorf needs a strikeout pitch.
Yeah, there's got to be something off speed here.
Grounded through the drawn in infield. Another RBI single. The Giants climb to a 4-0 lead. Scudero scores for the second time.
And it was an off speed pitch. It was a changeup. Looked a little hot though. The changeup coming in a little bit too hot to Pablo Sandoval. And did it catch too much of the plate? Yeah, you bet you it did. About knee high. And he stays on that nicely to pull it through the hole with the infield drawn in.
So a big inning, the second inning for the Giants. 3 runs in, still only 1 out. And Posey the batter. Posey grounded to short his first time. Since the All-Star break, the highest batting average with a .434 for Posey. Amazing. And that's this year, but it's even better than that. At .434, only one hitter in National League history is hit close to that for the second half of the season. Babe Phelps hit .416.
Oh, he could rate.
Ted Williams hit .457.
And he was a pretty good player too.
But only Williams in the entire major league should Posey, and it's unlikely he'll keep the pace at this .434 level. But it just gives you some perspective of how outstanding a month and a half he's enjoyed. 3-1. So Ohlendorf continues to go to 3-ball counts, and he's paying the price for it.
Yeah, 63 pitches total, 26 this inning.
7 times he's gone to a 3-ball count.
And that'll make a manager pace.
Strike.
I was going to say, if he didn't get that call, my goodness.
Full count.
Good run on the 2-seam fastball.
Posey is a double play candidate. Padres looking for a ground ball. Runner goes. That one slap foul deep down the right field line. Makes it all the way to the second deck.
A slider that was elevated. And elevated just enough where Posey couldn't really do much with it, sending it into foul territory.
He does lead the Giants 14 times grounding into a double play. But they're sending Sandoval to stay out of the twin killing. And he goes again. And it's ball 4. First walk from Ohlendorf, so 2 on with 1 out as we go to Hunter Pence, and Darren Balsley's going to go out and try to Folks, a couple of outs out of the veteran right-hander. Our AT&T trivia question for tonight. Since 1900, how many no-hitters have been tossed in Giants franchise history? So that's going to cover New York and San Francisco Giants. How many no-hitters?
Well, they've had some good ones along the way, haven't they? All the way back to Carl Hubble.
Padres have never seen one of their own throw a no-hitter. How many for the Giants? What do you think? Throw a number at them.
I'm going to go an over and under of my over and under is 4.
That might seem surprisingly low, but I'm guessing the reason the question's being asked is that the answer isn't a high number.
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
You're sharp, Professor.
Well, you got to think, if you're a student, you have to think like the teacher, and you're going to take a test. You say, well, if I were the teacher, what would be on the test? That really worked for me. How about you?
I struggled in that department.
No, you're modest. Here's Hunter Pence. Strike one. Pence struck out his first time. The Giants are a big swing away from exploding here. They've already got a 4-0 lead, and the Padres with a bullpen weary after the last 2 games. And there's a line drive into the left field corner by Pence. That's going to get 1 run in. Sandoval scores, and Posey to third. We'll check that. Posey to second. We'll get it right. Posey to third, and Pence pulls in at second base with the RBI double. And the merry-go-round has nothing but Giants riding the horses.
And the breaking ball just doesn't have the bite. The location is not there, out of the hand of Ross Ohlendorf. Righty on righty. Once again, high slider, ends up right down the heart of the plate. He wanted it down and away. And not too many big league hitters are going to not do some damage on a pitch like that.
Yeah, those breaking balls are just begging to be hit. Not much snap to them, and they're right down the middle.
And not a good feeling as a pitcher. How you doing? When you hang those breaking balls like that.
5-0 Giants. Second and third occupied. Still only 1 out. Brandon Belt lined to second base his first time. Miles Michaelis is throwing in the bullpen for San Diego. 33 pitches this inning, 1 out. 4 Giants hits and a walk. 2-1 now to Belt. 8th man to bat in the inning.
Well, Dick and Mark, you talk about that slider from Ross Ohlendorf. When it has that downward movement, it really has that side spin and doesn't have anything that's depth that gives the hitters problems. It's easy to adjust to when it just goes straight down rather than from that angle with that depth to the inside to the lefty.
And once again, Ross Ohlendorf, that cap is just drenched with perspiration. The bill of that cap dripping. Look at that.
Check swing foul, and the count runs to 2-2. Gregor Blanco is on deck.
Jeez Louise.
Padres have to play it halfway here, so the holes are larger for Belt. That's going to sail in foul territory. A long run for Cabrera, and it's just into the first row. Good thing that Cabrera didn't catch it. It would have been tough for him to brace and throw back with the runner tagging at third. Although Posey, as we mentioned, because of the fractured ankle a year ago, is still not at full speed.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll get it right. That is a sweet looking lid. Nicely done, my man. Love that look.
Yeah, it's straw hat weather. 2-2.
You know, with the perspiration just drenching down the bill of the cap, you know, when Ohlendorf powers forward toward, I'm wondering, that's got to be like getting a little bit sprayed in your face from that perspiration coming off the bill of that cap.
He's pitching in a tropical storm.
Yeah.
Belt fouls another. Count stays at 2-2. Pitch count at 75.
That's a lot of work.
39th of this inning coming up.
In 2 1/3 inning. 75 pitches. That's working it.
Gets away from Grandal. Another run will score. Posey checks in. 6-0. Pence goes to third, where he can score in and out. Pass ball on Grandal.
Looked like a breaking ball. And you know what? We're referring to what Mark Sweeney just said a bit ago. This is the good breaking ball. This is when Russ Ohlendorf is effective. That slider had some serious tilt to it. Actually looked like it handcuffed Yasmani Grandal. That was a good pitch.
Yeah, looking back to that, it actually looked like he got crossed up a little bit. They had a conversation going back to the mound.
Posey, the 5th runner to score here in the 3rd for the Giants. And Belt, another foul ball. Count 3-2. Infield again. They've played more in tight this inning than they played at their normal positions, normal depth.
Well, now Buddy's looking at the scorecard. Okay, who do I got available? Where should I put this guy? And the pitch count just continues to increase, as that was number 78.
You know, Dick and Mark with the pitching spot coming up 3rd in this
double switch.
Last half, you have to do a double switch. You can't really have a guy come in and throw 1 inning. That's what makes it hard to manage these National League clubs.
Yep. And that's exactly, Mark, what's going through the mind of Buddy.
Yeah, there's no easy reading in that book. Another foul by Belt.
Or Buddy could be thinking, you know what, I just make a straight up switch, and you know it's 6-0 here. Rather than burning and taking one of my regulars out of the lineup, I just put the pitcher he hits and just take one for the team that inning, that half inning in that spot.
And you know what, Buddy Black, you could see him coming down the end of the bench. Jason Marquis was at the end of the bench. I wouldn't be surprised. We always talk about him having his cleats on. Wouldn't be surprised if he pinch hit in the next inning as well.
Ball 4. And the inning goes on, and what an inning for the Giants, and this is a mercy trip for Bud Black. So a tough night for the veteran Ross Ohlendorf. He's unable to make it deep into the game once again, and will leave with a scoreboard showing a 6-0 deficit. We'll break and return to Petco Park in a moment. Padres baseball brought to you by Sequan Casino. Get away for the day at the all-new Sequan Casino, San Diego's destination for casino gaming and excitement. By Premium Rush, in theaters August 24th. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. For more information, visit Lexus.com. Back at Petco Park, and the Giants still with only one out and a runner at third base is Miles Michaelis, and Giants also have a runner at first as Ohlendorf deep in his thoughts. A tough night. Allowed 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and is responsible for the 2 Giants aboard. Is the 9th man to hit in the 3rd inning. Gregor Blanco. He sent, remember, Venable all the way to the auxiliary scoreboard to make a running catch on his deep drive the last time up. So the Giants have hit around with 5 men scoring to add to the home run by Scudero in the 1st inning.
Well, it's time to stop the bleeding, Miles Michaelis. And he got squeezed on that first pitch. Fastball right at the knees.
Looper behind short. That's trouble. Falls for another base hit. It's 7-0. Pence comes in to score on a bloop single by Blanco. That'll be charged on Ohlendorf's book. 1st and 2nd with 1 out.
They just reached out and flicked that ball off the end of the bat. Carlos Quentin in left field. No chance of getting that one. Big swing. Little duck snort to left.
And here's the man who started the go around, Brandon Crawford. He doubled to left center field. 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Ball in the dirt. Good block. Michaelis in long relief 2 nights ago in Atlanta came in and worked 2 1/3 innings and allowed no runs and 1 hit.
Well, let's see what kind of an adjustment Miles Michaelis has made his 3rd stint with the big league club. And as we talk about Darren Balsley and Bud Black, I always talk about locating the fastball.
Chopped up the middle. Forsythe gets an out there as the Padres fans cheered the 2nd out of the inning. You can feel their pain. They were wondering if that would ever happen. So that'll bring up the pitcher, Matt Cain. Check that. Yes, Cain comes up. Scorebook's a mess now. Not enough squares for 11 men to bat in 1 inning. Cain tried to bunt earlier in this inning, and that was the 1st out. He popped it up to the catcher, Grandal. And he rips one into left field. Oh my. Torturous inning for the Padres, and joyous for those Giant fans who've come to San Diego. They're being fed a lot of runs. It's 8-0. Brandon Belt comes in. Blanco to 2nd. Cain with his 5th RBI of the season. Angel Pagan, he tripled and knocked in a run in this inning. Fly to center in the 1st inning. First and 2nd, 2 outs. All 1. Even the best go through games like this.
Yep.
It just happens. 162 exposures. You're going to have an inning in a game like this one. Watch out. Oh, that almost got the on-deck hitter Scudero.
And you know, Mark Sweeney, these are one of the games where it makes this game of baseball, any sport, really, really tough mentally. You got to keep that same focus as if it's scoreless tie, right?
Well, they always talk about how mentally tough this game is, especially at the end of this year. Into August, the dog days, you really got to grind it out, especially coming back late from Atlanta last night. It makes it very difficult when you have innings like this.
All the way to the screen. 2nd and 3rd now for Blanco and Cain. Wild pitch charged to Michaelis. This inning has gone from awful to ugly. Crawford at third base. Kane at second. And 2-1 on Pagan. Yep, that says it all. From Bud Black. These Giants on a feeding frenzy here in the third.
Yeah.
Blanco swinging like he wants to get a 3-run home run in the book. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swinging bunt. Another run. So they pound some line drives. Then they get a blue pit from Blanco. Single from the pitcher Kane. And now a swinging bunt single for Pagan. And that brings in Crawford.
Well, when it rains, it pours. Nothing you can do there. You make a good pitch. Bad hack. Cannot place that ball any more perfectly down that third base line.
So it's a pretty good inning for Pagan. A single and a triple. Couple of RBIs. Scudero, home run and an RBI single. You know, it's not good for the home side when the visiting team second hitter has been at bat 3 times and the third inning isn't over. That closes the book on Ohlendorf. He's charged with all 8 runs. 9 runs rather. Now it's going to be 8 charged to him. This book is so confusing now. We'll get the official score. 8 on Ohlendorf's card, and now this 9th run belongs to Michaelis, and he's responsible for first and third with 2 outs. Thirteenth man to come to the plate for the Giants here in the third.
You know, this is where Bud Black, the manager of the Padres, I mean, think of being in his shoes during an inning like this. You talk about a manager, you got to keep your cool, you got to stay calm, because players look to the manager, you know, when certain things happen. But Buddy's one of the best.
This should do it. There's the final line. 13 men bat for the Giants. 8 of them score. 9-0 San Francisco.
before the game with San Francisco and San Diego. The 3rd annual Comunidad Award, Padres Comunidad Award, was given out for this young lady right here. You can see she was very, very happy. Daynar joins us right now. Daynar, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you, Sia.
Tell us about the award for physical fitness, of course, what it was. Tell us about the award, your program, Solid.
Tell you about the award.
The program.
The program. The program is we bring the world of dance to homeless kids, specifically at the Monarch School. And Solid Rhythm was an inspiration based out of a need that was obviously there. When I started as a volunteer teaching salsa dancing, the kids expressed a want to learn jazz and ballet, breakdancing, hip-hop. And I knew that I needed to deliver that. So I created Solid Rhythm.
Before we send it back to the guys, real quick, explain what Solid is. SOLID.
Yes, smile, opportunity, love, innovation, and determination.
And guys, believe it or not, she's only been doing this since March, and she's already got an award and being recognized by many people. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sias. Thank you.
Guys, back to you. She pretties me up.
Well done. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Making a difference in our community. Nicely done.
Venable flies to left. That's 7 in a row. Retired by Kane, who has that luxurious feeling of pitching with a 9-0 lead. He can just rock back and fire. Everett Cabrera.
Now, from a pitcher standpoint, you make a good point, Dick. You know, he's got to have the same mentality as if it's scoreless. Matt Cain. Limit the walks. Keep the ball in the ballpark.
Another element of this game now, with the score so lopsided so early. Will the Padres be in a position where they have to use an everyday player as a pitcher just to get innings out of the way and not use your bullpen?
Well, the one guy that comes to mind, if in fact does get to that point, would be Mark Kotze, the left-hander, who was the closer at Cal State Fullerton back in his college days. Stay tuned. Darren Balsley, before the ball game, did say that everybody is good to go in the bullpen. So that's a good sign. I mean, you know, Buddy Black now has to manage it out to where how long Michaelis will be in there. He is on deck.
Cabrera caught looking. 3rd strikeout for Matt Cain. And that takes us to our AT&T trivia question, and the answer involving no-hitters, San Francisco and New York Giants since 1900. How many no-hitters? 13.
I forgot to say teen after 4.
Oh, that's right. Well, you only
I
missed
think my mic got cut off.
Yeah, you missed by a couple.
Because I was thinking, of course, Matt Cain.
Michaelis batting for the first time in the major leagues.
John the Count Montefusco. He threw a no-no. Gosh, for some reason I'm drawing a blank.
And he chops one to second base. Matt Cain with a 9-run lead, and he's not allowed to hit through 3 innings. Later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lights. Top of the 4th inning, it'll be Sandoval, Posey, and Pence against Miles Michaelis. Pablo strikeout and an RBI single. Close the book on Ohlendorf, 2 1/3, 8 innings, 8 runs, all earned. 6 hit. Let's see, 8 hits as well. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. It's right the first time. 6 hits, 8 hit inning. 2 of those go to Michaelis.
So 13 no-hitters. My goodness.
You know, the one that kind of threw you off, you were going to say Amos Ruzzi, but that was 1891.
That's right. I remember reading about that game on the internet.
Ruzzi the Ruse, they called him.
I mean, how can well, first of all, consider the source, me. I mean, I knew that Gaylord Perry and Juan Marichal and Carl Hubble threw no-hitters, for crying out loud.
How about Jonathan
Shame
Sanchez?
on me. Yeah, Jonathan Sanchez.
Against the Padres.
Yeah, we witnessed that one as well.
And only one Giant pitched 2 no-hitters. Now there's a good quiz. Who's that?
That's going way back, right?
One of the great names ever. Michaelis using that 6'5" height. Lobs a throw over, and Sandoval is out. Let's go down to Mark Sweeney.
Well, guys, the most impressive part of Buster Posey is he's implemented a leg kick, and one of the elements I think is very important is you got to be able to control your head. So we'll start off, we're in his setup position, and then when he loads up with his hands, you can see he sets his head when he puts his foot down, and then he gets that leverage down through the baseball that creates that backspin. But check out his lower half, driving his legs through the baseball. That gives you that carry. This is an impressive hitter, guys, watching him evolve.
What would you say that angle is? Around 50 degrees angle that you've drawn there?
You know, it's all about the pitch, the most important thing. And if it's elevated and you're still coming down on the baseball, you're going to create that backspin. And it really, Dick, is going to take off. And you can see it. The last time we were up in San Francisco, he hit a ball deep in his stance and he hit it out to right field. That's impressive as a young hitter.
2 strikes to count. And he strikes out. Michaelis has his first strikeout. Gets a tough hitter. Curveball got him.
Big 12-6 curveball for Miles Michaelis. Get on top of it. Great rotation. All upper body. And I'll tell you what, you don't see that X, Y, Z. That's a big K on that one. You could take your Y and your X and take it out of here.
So he just went from acute to obtuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Hunter Pence struck out, doubled in the run, and scored in the 3rd. Back through the middle. Nice stop by Forsythe. Can he get him? What a play! Logan Forsythe. Put that one in the highlight reel as the Giants go out in order, and Forsythe, look how quickly to his feet. Earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Logan Forsythe, the Miller moment. Needs that strong arm to throw out Pence. Is a good runner.
You know what I love about that play? It's 9-0 in favor of the Giants. Logan Forsythe laying out, picking up his pitcher, and getting out any way he can. That kid's a ball player, folks. He's a gamer.
And the dugout appreciating the effort by young Forsythe. To the bottom of the 4th inning. Top of the order, Forsythe will hit second. Alexi Amarista popped to first base the first time. Kane can rear back and find the strike zone. 9 up, 9 down. 3 of them struck out by Matt Kane. Well, you take small steps when you're down 9-0. The first step is to get a base hit. The second is to ruin the shutout.
Yeah, put together good at-bats. Draw, walk here. Base hit there, extra base hit. Not going to lie to you, though, with the way Matt Kane has been throwing tonight. Hey, it's going to be tough. Sure it is. Nobody said it's going to be easy.
Well, the penalty of losing so many pitchers, starting pitchers, through the course of this season. The Padres with no less than 6 starters on the DL. Means that here in August, even though they've hit the ball better, in 15 games, 8 times, the Padre pitchers have not made it through 5. And Marista 4-3 on the putout, 10 in a row now for Matt Kane. Well, you can subscribe to MLB.TV. Take advantage of new low pricing and see every remaining Padres out-of-market game live online on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Padres.com. Order. Get more details. MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Forsythe struck out his first time. Lines that one in the left field corner. Hooking. Foul.
That was straight Joe Carter right there. Huh? Ending a World Series on a swing like that and a home run down the left field line.
Clothesline into the first row, and that gentleman didn't lose the baby, didn't lose the snow cone. What if he dropped one of the two?
It would have been an error.
Oh, that's right.
He's got the sweet papoose working though. He's got the safety net. Now, first you got to be okay. You know he got the carom, so it wasn't like he was being aggressive. The ball came to him, but he's cradling that baby nicely with the snow cone. He's got the spoon. Yeah.
Kid's hanging. Is he holding the kid, or is the kid holding him? Get him another snow cone.
Yeah, you hang on to that youngin' now.
Am I on TV? Another foul, Forsythe. 2-2 on Logan.
Hey, everybody has a bad day, Dick, and I know we've got a lot of baseball left, but the Phillies routed the Colonels at the Philadelphia baseball grounds back in 1894. They lost 29-4. Yeah, tough day.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
And we'll soon forget this one. Oh, Forsythe is the first base runner the hard way.
It all starts with a hit batsman, right? Fastball. Looked like a fastball, maybe a changeup even. Up and in.
Not much muscle there to absorb the pain, but Forsythe, a tough guy, doesn't rub. That's anti-baseball. Chase Headley up to third his first time. Loop to left. That's falling in a hurry. Oh, foul ball. Well, everything went right in that third inning for the Giants, including a swinging bunt single and a bloop base hit. A couple of shots here for the Padres, just foul in the fourth. Headley with Carlos Quinton on deck.
You know, you look through the course of baseball, and I know you've witnessed games like this where teams have come back after being down 8, 9 runs.
It happens.
You know how you come back in a game like this? Somebody like me will say something ridiculous like, I'll walk from here to San Francisco if the Padres come back and win this one, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. I'm not going to say that.
How about if you'd walk to Alpine? If they come back and win this, you have to walk to Alpine.
You know what? Thank you for doing. I will do that. In fact, I love my Padres. I want them to come back. They've got some fight. They don't give up. They're our guys. I'm going on record right now. Set the VCR.
I've got it written in the book. That ball is hit well to deep left center field off the bat of Headley. But the ball dies at the warning track. Pagan with the catch. Forsythe back to first. A long out.
If the Padres come back and win this game, I will walk from Petco Park to Alpine for Children's Hospital.
All right, that's good. What would you think? How many miles?
It's 30. It's like 32 miles.
Well, you'll make that in a couple hours then.
Yeah, we'll raise some money for Children's Hospital.
That's a great idea.
Mark, I'll drive by you and I'll give you the water bottles. How about that? I'm going on record with that.
How about joining me and taking a nice stroll out to East County?
I will.
Quinton, tapper to the mound. Easy play for Kane. Inning over. After 4 here at Petco. 9-0. He's in trouble, boy. Just right off the top of the wall. First inning, and you knew it was going to be a rough one when that ball went out. 1-0, and then a big 8-run 3rd inning. There's a triple by Pagan that knocked in a run. He later scored himself as Scudero comes through again with a single to center off starter Ross Ollendorf. And the parade was on. Sandoval joins it with a single to right, scoring another Giants run. And Pence reps a double into the left field corner. A wild pitch, pass ball, and it went on and on. Trust me, it was 8 runs on 8 hits for the Giants, who now enjoy a 9-0 lead. Brandon Belt leads off the 5th inning against Miles Michaelis. Belt is lined to second, walked and scored 1 of the runs in the 3rd. Two balls and a strike.
You remember Jim Rooker, the color analyst for the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Left-hander, pitched for Kansas City and Pittsburgh.
The Pirates were in the same type of situation, down in a game. Or they were up in a game, I think. And he said, if the Pirates end up losing this game, I will walk. It was against the Phillies.
Right.
I will walk from Philly to Pittsburgh, and they ended up losing. And he did. He walked from Philly to Pittsburgh.
And that's across the entire Keystone State.
Yeah.
That's no Petco to Alpine. Now, if you really were the man I think you are, but you didn't have a lot of time to think about it. I mean, it was just spontaneous.
Right.
You probably would have said, I'll walk from here to San Francisco.
Right up the 5, huh?
Ground ball to first. Alonso covers. One away.
Hey, bring the family out to Petco Park for Nickelodeon Play Ball Day featuring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tomorrow at 5:30. Get to the park early, meet the Ninja Turtles themselves at 4 p.m. before your Padres take on the Giants at 5:35. Get your tickets now at Padres.com or get on the horn. 619-795-5555. Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello in the house.
Those are some fine sports cars.
Yeah.
Those four.
Isn't there a Donatello dealership up in La Jolla?
Yeah, there's a couple of those that end in I. You know, those cars that end in I.
Sure.
They've got 6 numbers on them.
And a couple of commas in the price.
Gregor Blanco. Good running catch by Venable in deep right field to deny him in the second. He blooped a single to left field, driving in a run in the 8-run go round in the third. Two and one. Miles Michaelis against Gregor Blanco.
Hey,
this is one of our good friends on our Delta charter flight, Susie.
Yeah, Susie Montgomery does a fine job with the crew there.
Alonso 2 for 2 here in the 5th inning
on our charters.
Yeah, they were. You know, Susie. You know, she usually takes care of the area where the media sits. I mean, I've never seen a flight attendant so frustrated. She looked. Where is Greg? Where's Mike? Where is
just threw the whole thing off, huh?
It is. None of us could be served. I mean, she had no time. Now.
Straight scuffle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mark Brand is not on the flight. I mean, if she had a parachute, she'd have jumped.
You know what? Usually I've got my peanut butter and jelly sandwich waiting for me there.
I did get that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got it. I shared though.
Good.
Pomerantz. See, she's still unhappy. Well, she's going to kill us when she gets home and puts on that VCR machine. Brandon Crawford has scored a couple of runs, a double and a fielder's choice.
Seriously, they do a great job on our flights, don't they?
Superb.
Chris, Kirsten, Susie, Brenda. Awesome. Kim.
Lefty.
That's right. Yeah, lefty. Yeah.
He's the general, the commander.
Yeah.
One ball, 2 strikes. Brandon Crawford. Back to the mound under the glove of Michaelis and into center field for a base knock. He's got 2 hits. Giants have hit double figures now with 10. And here's the pitcher Kane. He chipped in with an RBI single in the 3rd inning. Just a reminder, the Padres still without a hit in this 9-0 game. Swinging bunt. Headley bare hand. Good play. We're at the halfway mark. 4.5 in the book. Giants 9, Padres nothing.
Isn't the priority. The timing, getting in the game, catching a game, just having situations was the main thing for me. And I feel like I'm ready to come back again, and hopefully today I could do something good so I could help out the team.
Yasmani Grandal, who DH'd in one game and caught last night at Lake Elsinore, and now off the 15-day disabled list. Good to have him back. First time up, he hit the ball hard, but the shortstop Crawford threw him out. So it's Grandal, Alonso, Venable, three left-handed hitters in the 5th inning of this 9-0 game.
Well, Yasmani is in good hands with the training staff down there in that Padre locker room, or the clubhouse rather. So he's back out there, and we're glad to have him back in the lineup.
Well, good news for the Giants fans, not only the fact that they lead 9-0, but Atlanta in extra innings beat the Dodgers 4-3. So if this goes as it's headed, the Giants will reclaim first place after tonight. And Atlanta continues to win. That makes them 18-5 in their last 23 games. And 29-11 in their last 40.
Yeah, they got it going.
3-1. So the NL West, currently the Giants and Dodgers tied until this one becomes official. Arizona, don't count them out. They have won. Beat Houston, who doesn't. Ripped to center field. That's up the alley, but cut off by Angel Pagan. Great break on the ball by Pagan. Grandal has hit the ball hard both times. 0 for 2.
Well, what a great looking swing from Yasmani Grandal, getting extended. Sore oblique my eye. Look at this swing. Look at him load up, extend, get through that baseball. What a pretty swing.
And Pagan making the catch. Wasn't it Pagan who made that terrific catch going away to save the perfecto of Matt Cain? Skidding on his warning path in center field was the big defensive play. No, I guess that wasn't. It was Blanco playing center field in the perfecto. And so far, everything going Cain's way. Alonso grounded to first. His only at bat. Lean times for the Padre hitters coming into this inning. 33 innings, only 1 run. That was Forsythe's home run a couple of nights ago. And nothing in the H column tonight so far. Three-time All-Star Matt Cain. What I like about him, when it's his turn, he takes the ball. He's never missed a start.
Yeah, there's talent, and there's talent with guts, right? Matt Cain, he's a bulldog. I mean, there's some guys on this Padres staff who have that same quality. Just need a little support at times. But you're right, Matt Cain, he's on a mission each time out.
There's the first hit of the game. Alonso into the right field corner. One of his specialties, another double for Yonder Alonso. He's been sitting on 31 for a long time. Leading all major league rookies, that's his 32nd.
We saw the pretty swing from Yasmani Grandal. How about Yonder Alonso getting out in front? A pretty swing as well. What was the pitch? It was a hanging slider. Oh, you got to love that sound. It's got double written all over it.
Brings up Will Venable. As Alonso now is just 1 double away from tying Benito Santiago for most doubles by a Padre rookie. And here's confirmation. 33 for the Padres catcher in 1987. Alonso should go by him before the month's out.
Yeah, he should shatter that record, no doubt.
Doubles machine, and that plays terrifically in this ball yard. Venable fly to left his first time, grounds this one to short, or second rather, and Scudero able to throw him out as Alonso moves to third, trying to break that shutout bid. They've finally got a hit off Matt Cain. Jerry Coleman Day coming up in September 15th. Mark it down. Scripps Health is supporting Jerry Coleman Day, celebrating 40 years with the Padres, 70 years in baseball. The Colonel, what a career. Be in your seat 30 minutes before the game. It's going to be a terrific pregame ceremony before the Padres play the Rockies. Again, the date is September 15th. Get your tickets now at Padres.com or 619-795-5555. We expect a full house that day. It's scheduled to be a day game. It's a Saturday, a 105 game.
You know, Dick, you and I, we have the pleasure of knowing the Colonel, seeing him every day, and how energetic he is at his age, right? My point is, when I see pictures of him in his flight gear, could you imagine what the Colonel was like back in the heyday? In the heart and the guts and the fire that he had?
120 missions. The only baseball player to serve in 2 wars in combat. Ted Williams didn't serve in combat his first year in World War II, but they did in the Korean War. I mean, he's just 8. He wanted, Coleman said, unabashedly says, don't talk about it. I didn't do, all I did is what every kid wanted to do, and that's go to war and help our country. But, I mean, he is a true American hero.
No question.
And if that isn't a big explosive celebration for the Colonel, then I'm going to be deeply disappointed. September 15th. I've had many of my friends already say, how do you get tickets? I said, we tell you every night, get them now. Get them early. Better price. Cabrera fouling that one out of play. Counts 2-2 on him. 2 outs here in the 5th. Padres finally get a runner to third, and Alonso. Michaelis and his battery mate Grandal, part of the youth movement of the Padres. Sharply hit and under the glove of Scudero. The Padres are on the board as Alonso checks in. Cabrera with the RBI single. Well, it gives the Padre fans something to cheer.
Yeah, that's a slider thrown from Matt Cain, one of the few bad sliders into the left-handed hitting Cabrera. So the switch hitter squares that one up, and Yonder Alonso comes across for the first run.
And Marcotte is going to pinch hit for Michaelis. Cotte fully familiar with the offerings of Matt Cain, fouls the first one away. As a pinch hitter this year, Cotte now making his 32nd at bat with 9 hits, 1 a home run. Cain, little extra 91-mile-an-hour fastball. So the double by Alonso, single Everett Cabrera. Padres produce a run at the bottom of the order tonight. Padres have beaten Matt Cain more than any other National League team, 11 times. 6-11 going into the game tonight. But his teammates have made it easy for him with that big 9-run start.
Hey, the comeback's on, folks. Come on now.
The estimated walking distance from Petco to Alpine, just under 30 miles.
Well, from my driveway where I park here is 32 point.
Well, I think you should go all the way to your garage.
Absolutely. Have a big party at the double wide.
Probably get a shoe deal.
Yeah. You know, in that game, Jim Rooker, the Pirates were up 10-0 in the first inning. And he said in the bottom of the first, if we lose this game, I'll walk from Philly to Pittsburgh. And they end up losing 15-11 against the Phillies. And they were probably wearing those unis too.
I'd say alive 2-2. Beware of what you speak.
I love that uni. That's, man.
You'll be behind.
Yeah.
Cabrera. And that held on seriously by Belt. Jam, fly ball to shallow center. Pagan, he makes it there in time. But the Padres get a run on a couple of hits, and after 5, it's 9-1.
And back by popular demand, folks. This is awesome. You want it? It's back. Padres Beer Fest. Enjoy a variety of beers from some of San Diego's most popular breweries before your Padres take on the D-backs. Party starts at 5. First pitch is 7:05. So get your tickets now at Padres.com. No bad hops on this night.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Padres.com.
Wait. How did Harry Carey? How would he?
All right. Time to have a couple brewskis. Hey, we got them lined up. So come on down to the ballpark for a Bud Light. 619-795-5555. Let's get some runs.
I can remember in a game like this, Carey would say, a couple of hits. I can't do it like a couple of hits.
Yeah.
Maybe an error or two, a walk, error, another error, and a couple of hits. We're
Home
right
run,
back. We're
grand
right
slam.
in this thing.
That's right. You got to think positively.
Eternal optimist.
Hey, beer goggles.
Great look. It just pulls the whole outfit together. Got him mesmerized. Brad Brock comes in. 6th inning. Michaelis went 2 2/3, gave up a run on 4 hits. No walks, struck out 1. Leadoff man Pagan, then Scudero and Sandoval. 1-1 the count. Well, tomorrow night, 4:30 for Padres Live, 5:35 the game time. Eric Stoltz, off that terrific job in Atlanta, will go against Barry Zito, one of San Diego's own. The left-hander, 9-8 on the season. There's Stoltz.
And remember, tomorrow, 4:30. Set the VCRs. 4:30 Padres Live. First pitch, 5:35. After you get done listening to, the 8-track.
Yeah, that's right. Originally that game was scheduled for, I think, 1 o'clock. So it is a 5:30 game. So
yep.
be sure that you don't come out here too early. You'll see Zito, the talented southpaw. Stoltz, the winner in that 4-1 victory in Atlanta on Monday night. And then Sunday, a noon start for us on Fox Sports San Diego for Padres Live. Clayton Richard will go against Ryan Vogelsong. That's a terrific matchup. And there's the pairing for tomorrow night. Broken bat. That's going to loop into center field. Umpire Brian Honora sprinting to get out of the way of the ball that was intent on following him. So Pagan, he's got a scratch single, a bloop single, and a triple to left.
And a tough break from Brad Brock because he throws a good pitch. He snaps the bat of Pagan. That is well below the label. And it's dumped into shallow center field for a base hit. Nothing you can do there.
Scudero, second man to bat in the game, homer to left. You can't hit it any closer to being an out than he did, and yet a home run. Reminds you a little of Martin Prado in terms of a heady veteran that just is a professional hitter, tough out, gives you good at bats.
Yeah, doesn't try to do too much like in this situation. You know, sure it's 9-1, but still you can see that last pitch. He was trying to shoot it to the right side where that big hole is, trying to create a little first and third action.
Lifted to right center. Amarista for Cameron Maben tonight in the middle field. One away. Well, high school football is on Fox Sports San Diego. Watch as some of the nation's top teams compete on the big stage. Thursday, interstate rivals from Ohio go head to head under the lights when Akron, Bucktel, and Massillon compete. It's the national football game of the week. High school football right here on Fox Sports San Diego. Massillon, storied football history in Ohio, along with Canton McKinley. And of course our high schoolers here in San Diego are getting ready for their season.
It's an event, man. Friday Night Lights.
What's the Alpine nickname?
Alpine does not have a high school, but we should, and that's a different story.
So you're unbeaten.
Unbeaten.
That's like Wyoming State.
That's right. And it's always a tough schedule.
Fly ball to right. That ball's hit, but Venable circles and makes the catch. That was knuckling its way out there. Sandoval with the second out. He is 1 for 4 in RBI single, and that brings up Buster Posey. Ground out, walked and scored and struck out. So the red hot hitting Posey 0 for 2 tonight. Have a moment. Congratulations to University of California, San Diego. They have these world rankings of the universities around the world, 1,200 of them, and UCSD ranked 15th in the world.
That's awesome.
In their study. 9th in the life and agricultural sciences, 12th in their engineering school, 13th in chemistry, 14th in computer science. That's against the world. UCSD, we tip our mortarboard to you.
And you know what? Ross Ollendorf is smarter than any one of those at UCSD. We got the smartest guy in baseball on our team.
He might wind up being a professor.
No, but congratulations to UCSD. That's great.
1 ball, 1 strike to Posey. Oh, he had a good swing.
Yeah, short, quick to the baseball. Good swing from Posey. Hits for power, hits for average, the whole package. But like the Padres pitching staff last time, he can be pitched to.
I know you're asking who got the #1 university ranking.
Central Michigan.
They just got nipped by Harvard. Ground ball to short. Cabrera across. 0 for 3 for Posey. That's almost headline story in San Francisco. No hits for this catcher. San Diego will be taking over the Padres ticket office, folks. This limited time offer only available on September 4th during the game. And of course, the Padres are away on September 4th at Los Angeles against the Dodgers. But Fox Sports San Diego taking over the ticket office. Get hooked up. There's going to be some amazing deals just by watching the Padres on Fox Sports San Diego. So another chance for you to get some bargain deals.
Yeah.
Amarista, Forsythe, and Headley against Matt Cain in the 6th. Only 8 to tie. Amarista kept on the infield, a pop up and a ground out to second. He continues to swing from the heels, this little man, and he'll get you a home run. He's got 5.
You know, you mentioned UCSD being 15th in the world, right?
Right.
Well, one of the reasons is
Amarista chases the high heat, 1 away.
one of my good friends. His name's Michael Robertson. He's in the engineering school. That's one of the reasons. He's from Alpine. Smart kid from Alpine.
I told you, engineering is ranked 12th in the world
because of Michael. I've known him since he was knee high to a grasshopper.
Is he a professor there in engineering, or just studying?
He's a student.
It's a lot of delicious flavors here in our wonderful San Diego city and county, and education is part of it with all the terrific universities. And the great high school and elementary teachers. And when I'm king, I'm going to take some of the money, and I have a doctorate as a professor, take some of the money away from the professors, and you're not going to like this. Ground ball sharply, Forsythe, and he's throwing out 2 away. Or I'm going to find money from somewhere, because I feel the highest salaries should go to those that are teaching K1 and 2. We put our very best people there, not only because they give you the basis for your entire educational life, but they have a chance to save lives. They encounter young kids that come to school that may not have the best home conditions. And there's a drive into the right field corner, and Headley has himself extra bases. Pence fields the carom. Headley has his first hit. Third hit off Matt Cain. A 2-out double.
We mentioned the breaking ball from Matt Cain. Well, that was a fastball. And I mentioned earlier that, you know, when the Padres have gotten to Matt Cain in the past, they have really done a nice job of capitalizing on the fastball. That one was right down the middle. Hey, Matt Cain can challenge these hitters with 2 outs. And Headley's aboard with his 23rd double.
And I think it's just good timing on the part of Headley to come through with a double. Here's Quinton, fouls it back because in Colorado in high school he was the valedictorian of his high school class. Honor student, academic All-America at the University of Tennessee. Rips a double to right. Chance for another run here. Quinton has struck out and tapped to the mound. He keeps it alive. Yasmani Grandal on deck. That's going to sail into the seats behind the dugout of the Padres.
Professor, what was your toughest class in college? What did you have most?
Calculus.
Really?
Even though I was a math minor, that was fortunately at that time Central Michigan. It was small enough that I'll remember the professors' names. Les Serrier. And he said, Enberg, you should be better than this. I said, I know. He says, come over to the house Tuesday night. I'll cook you dinner. We'll have dinner, and I'll give you 3 hours of private lessons. That was the kind of place Central Michigan was at that time. Carlos Quinton unhappily chases that one in the dirt, and the inning is over. 5 strikeouts for Cain. Stays 9-1.
Matt Cain really marked the story of this one. He has just continued inning after inning to shut down the Padres.
Yeah, and he can throw anything he wants now. If the Giants give him more than 3 runs, he's 10-0 on the season. That does not bode well for the Padres.
Got an uphill climb for sure, and when Mark and I see in the postgame show, we're going to break that down for you. Also, take you around baseball, show you some great highlights, including a wild finish to a game between the Dodgers and the Braves. Talk about Yasmani Grandal, who, as you know, has returned to the lineup. We'll talk about just the challenges that he's facing to get himself prepared for the rest of this season. You'll also hear from the manager, Buddy Black. We'll see you in the postgame, guys.
Well, I imagine Buddy's looking forward to that. Tough one, and that's one of the responsibilities the manager has to answer to the press.
Yep.
But he's always positive. One game, just one notch in the L column. And here's Tommy Lane in Atlanta in 3 defeats. He was in 2 of those and sparkled. He faced 6 men in 2 innings and struck out 5 in his major league debut. No one knew who Tommy Lane was. He came through the Arizona organization. The Padres got him in a cash deal. He worked out well at San Antonio. Mud, we were on the bus going from the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead in Atlanta down to the ballpark, and this fellow walks in the bus, and he's somebody we'd never seen before. And I just tried to be delicate about it, and I didn't just say, "Who are you anyway?" And just said, "I'm Dick," and he said, "I'm Tommy." And Tommy has just given up his first major league hit. Broken base hit by Pence to right field. And introduced himself. That night goes out, pitches for the first time in the major leagues with his family. They drove all the way from St. Louis, strikes out the side in Atlanta, gets Brian McCann for his first out.
What a great story.
It was just terrific stuff. And anyone out there that's a parent and have sat and rooted for your child and agonized inside hoping they would do well, and then to watch the mother just live every pitch with her son. Great stuff. And then we got on the buses last night after the game, leave for the airport. And there was Mom and Dad. They were waiting right at the very end by the bus. They wanted to, you know how moms are, they want to say goodbye 8 times.
Right.
Yeah. Kiss you goodbye, then wave goodbye. Ground ball to Alonso. That's going to be a foul ball. Foul ball, no play. Well, let's go back in case you weren't with us Tuesday night as he came into his first big league game. Introduced himself. Tommy Lane, not Tom Lane. Brian McCann, the first hitter. Look at that big bender.
Backdoor breaking ball, nicely done.
Then he strikes out the side. All to the delight. Mom there in the dark blue. That's my son right there. Love it.
That's great. I tell you, I was watching at home. It brought a big smile to my face as well. So a great way to break into the big leagues for Tommy Lane.
He's been a lifetime minor leaguer at 27 years of age. Went to Mount Olive College, a small school in North Carolina. Another left-hander, Bud Black, appreciates what he can mean to this team. With Joe Thatcher sideline, the Padres need a lefty to come in to face a tough left-handed batter. Brandon Belt has lined out, grounded out, and walked tonight, scored a run. Hunter Pence at first. That's in there. Another strikeout. So he's recorded 7 outs, Lane, and he struck out 6 batters.
Big sweeper right on the outside corner. And you can hear the Lane family all the way back in St. Louis hooting and hollering.
I'll bet they're watching. Boy, wholesale changes by Bud Black. The infield now has Logan Forsythe at third. Cabrera stays at short. Amarista moves from center to second. Alonso still at first base. But the outfield now has Guzman in left. Benorfia in center. Venable stays in right. 5 changes by the skipper. Gregor Blanco, bloop single and an RBI, 1 for 3 tonight. .90 miles an hour on the fastball. Lane was a starting pitcher for the early part of his minor league career, and the Padres saw his potential as a relief pitcher. And he says he really feels more comfortable as a relief pitcher. You know, this year with 3 different teams, he was 0-10. So you see that number, and you say, and now he's in the big leagues. I mean, it's such an unlikely story.
Absolutely.
Improbable. And he's delivering.
He's got a little deception in his delivery, too. Very short stride from left side. Kind of throws across his body.
Somewhat like Thatcher, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, Joe, you know, he's a little bit more violent with his delivery, coming from down under and throwing really across his body towards the first base side. That's a strike.
Oh, not called a strike by plate umpire Tom Hallion. So a couple of men on for the Giants here in the 7th. Well, this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, well, the push is on, and that means Boston and the Yankees, doesn't it? That's the big game showdown amongst bitter rivals. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Budweiser, begins tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific time, only on Fox. And then at 4:30, we invite you aboard as the Yankees have beaten Boston tonight. We invite you here on Fox Sports San Diego to watch Eric Stoltz and Barry Zito in a battle of southpaws. Brandon Crawford has had a good night. Doubled and scored in that Big third inning. He also came up a second time, safe on a fielder's choice, and scored a second run in the inning. And he singled his last time, 2 for 3. Infield looking for 2.
89 outside corner, a little bit of movement from Tommy Lane. And you mentioned that sweeper. Yeah, you can see where he could be effective.
Padres acquired him on May 3rd from Arizona in a cash deal. He was a 26th round draft pick by Arizona 5 years ago. Swing and a miss. Tied him up with a fastball. 90.
You know what I love about Tommy Lane? How about going back to the early 70s? He's sporting the mutton chops. That's old school right there. You got to love that.
Ground ball to second. There's one. Now they can't get the double play. Amarista would have been better served to go to first base, and then they might have been able to get the man at second.
Yeah.
But it's a split second decision.
You make a good point, though. That runner stopped in his tracks. He's got to start it back up again. Stopped. Good point, Dick.
So first and third with 2 outs. As Pence moves over to third. And Matt Cain hits again. He's 1 for 3. An RBI single as he chipped in that 8-run third inning. Well, it's a party at the park. Little did we know that the Giants came to party tonight. 38,755 the attendance. Packed out there in the park.
Love it.
That's got to be the best baseball deal in the majors. $5 to sit out there or bring your picnic. Yeah, and you bring your blankets or there are seats for you as well, as you can see down below. And they're having a good time. A lot of them out there just to see Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney. Of course, that's a major attraction. Ripped. Forsythe throws, gets him. How about that? Forsythe moves from second to third, makes a juggling stop in that rocket arm of his, and Alonso with a great tag. Another good play. Oh, my. Padres baseball, brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. And we welcome you back to Petco Park. The fans have gone through the 7th inning stretch ritual. And here we go. Yasmani Grandal, Yonder Alonso, and Will Venable to bat against Matt Cain in the 7th, with Cain resting on a 9-1 advantage. New third baseman is Joaquin Arias, giving Pablo Sandoval the rest of the night off. Cain working on a 3-hitter and a 9-1 lead. Grandal, returning to the club from the DL, has hit the ball right on the nose twice, sharply to short, and a line out to center. Tim Lincecum, we won't see him in this series. Nor will we see Bumgarner. That's Bumgarner, the left-hander on the right of you picture. That's a pretty good staff.
Yes, it is.
Lincecum struggled. He's an enigma, just as Eddie Volquez is for the Padres. A high fly ball. It's got a lot of strength behind it and would have been a home run in a lot of places. But a long out for Grandal. That's the good sign, though. He's hit the ball very sharply, all 3 at bats.
And that's all you can ask, right? Put a good swing on it, hit it on the sweet spot. After that, it's out of your control.
Brings up Alonso. Doubled and scored the Padre run the last time up.
Hey, Dick, I recognize somebody in the Giants dugout, and I want to recognize him. Because right here, I'm a big fan. Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Ground ball to short. Crawford across. 2 away.
You know, this guy right here, being fortunate enough to play in the big leagues and playing against a guy like Sean Dunston, I admire that guy so much because that guy gave it all each and every day in the big leagues. If you want to pattern yourself after a player in the big leagues, it's Sean Dunston. He ran so hard on a routine ground ball each and every time. You talk about a guy giving you 90 feet. Sean Dunston was that guy. He left it all out on the field. And being a player, to see him do that, really just have all the respect in the world for a guy like Sean.
Not a member of the regular coaching staff. At least he's not listed in there.
Yeah, he's kind of an advisor to, to Brian Sabian and the coaching staff, and a valuable part. And a great attitude, great sense of humor, funny guy, great baseball guy.
1-2 to Venable. You know, when you say to me about any ball player, whether I've seen him or not, the man hustled hard. He played every step hard. You tell me also that he loved this game.
Loved it.
If you hustle, you love.
Yep. #1 pick back by the Chicago Cubs. Gosh, I think it was like 1983-ish. 1983, 84.
2-2 to Venable. Struck him out. Cain hasn't lost anything, has he? 1-2-3 in the 7th for the Padres. 9-1 Giants. Defense was sparkling. Look at this Forsythe dive and throw. Oh, that's as tough as it gets, and he sells out and able to athletically bounce to his feet, and then he goes over to third base and makes a little juggling act and fires where Alonso is able to make the tag on Kane. Two plays you won't see very often.
You got to love the second effort from Logan Forsythe at third base. The guy's a player, man. I'm telling you. Get a little instruction right there from Bud Black.
Something that amused Forsythe. Now you can play him any place defensively. Other than maybe catcher, you can put him any place and he's not going to embarrass you. You could play the outfield. Certainly can play third. That's how he came into the Padres system out of the University of Arkansas. As Luke Gregerson, even though the game's 9-1 and Luke is now the father of the bullpen. Luke and 6 rookies. He needs the work, and everyone else has had their turn. Luke hasn't pitched since coming in the Monday night win in Atlanta 4-1. Retired only 1 batter, so he's fresh. Top of the order, Pagan, Scudero, and Sandoval's replacement Arias. So if you were with us at the very start and you noted that last slider from Gregerson and compared it with Ohlendorf's slider that was hanging in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, good point.
That's the big difference. It's a subtle difference, but a big one.
Yeah, when it was at the heart of the plate, it was just kind of rolling up there. Didn't have much action to it. He threw a couple of good sliders, but kind of inconsistency, and that's going to happen. Boy, one thing's for sure, Luke Gregerson, that consistent slider of his has got some serious bite to it.
Pagan, the only Giant with 3 hits tonight, including an RBI triple. 2 of them have been scratch variety, a swinging bunt and a broken bat single. Way out of play, but he got all of it. Terrific turnout tonight, 38,755. Giant fans present. And with a victory tonight, San Francisco will reclaim first place in the NL West as the Dodgers lost a tough one in Atlanta 4-3 in extra innings.
And of course, stay tuned after the game. Padres Live coming up right after this one. Mark Sweeney and Mike Palmers will have all the action for you, talking about that race in the NL West and other games throughout Major League Baseball.
Struck him out. Slider.
Man, that's a good pitch. Look at the tilt on this. Straight down. Not even close. Pagan swings right over the top of it.
So he goes inside, and that slider has more of a down and in bite, but he threw a backdoor, and it kind of almost serves as a sinker, doesn't it?
You're exactly right. That's a good point. He's almost like he has 2 sliders, like you said, the one that bites and then the one that goes like straight down, more of a slurve to it, and then the one that goes straight down.
Scudero. Sliced into the right field corner. Venable has a play, and in foul territory makes the catch. Scudero with a RBI single and a home run tonight. First time up for Joaquin Arias. Sandoval struck out, singled in a run, grounded out, and lined out. We're talking about, in your admiration for Sean Dunston. He serves on their total teaching team with the Giants, just as the Padres have men that circulate throughout the minor leagues and the major leagues.
Like Brad Ausmus and Mark Loretta.
Right.
Yeah.
He said very prominent in spring training. Sean
Got it.
Probably came up and happened to be in the area.
Yep.
Put on a uniform. You can never learned too much in this game, and it was interesting. A couple of the pitchers there were picking his brain. Arias has played about half the games for the Giants. Utility guy, 262 average. Count goes 3-1. Colorado, a little winning streak, 4 in a row, but that was broken tonight. Miami won in Denver 6-5. Arizona victorious 3-1 to move them 4.5 out of first place. Oh, that had Arias' knees buckling. Line foul. So with the Giants scoring 9 runs, reading through their notes, it kind of surprised me that they have scored more runs on the road than any National League team. Now, frustrated they don't score a lot of runs at home, mind you.
Right.
But on the road, Bruce Bochy's team averaging well over 5 runs a game. The only team with a better runs per game average, the Angels in the American League.
Yeah, and they always say that you should try to play 500 ball on the road, right? Going into this game, the Giants 1 game over 500.
Luke Gregerson slider any good? Oh, my.
Real good.
Carl's Jr. star of the game, Matt Cain. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. Another masterful performance as he shoots for his 3rd complete game of the season and his 12th win.
Yeah, 96 pitches tonight for Matt Cain. Still out there. You know, we mentioned before, Dick, you made the point, when he gets the ball, he wants to go the distance each and every time. That's his mindset. But Bruce Bochy sending him out there for the 8th. The Giants had the day off yesterday. I'm sure that everybody is fresh in that pen.
Cabrera knocked in the Padres' only run. Makes the first out here in the 8th inning. Well, he consistently has gone over the 100 pitch mark this season. In fact, the fewest pitches he has thrown were his last outing in Colorado when he threw 90 in 7 1/3 innings. But he went 5, 10, 12 games in a row where he threw 100 pitches or more. So this is really consistent with the season. 98 pitches.
Yeah, and maybe they wanted him to maintain that workload like he's been throwing all year, as you mentioned.
Denorfia batting for the first time. Entered the game with all those switches an inning or so ago. 278 on the season. Lines that one fair. That'll run its way into that tough left field corner, and Denorfia hustles around second. His first at bat delivers a solid double. That brings up leadoff man Amarista, 0 for 3 tonight. The 100th pitch is Denorfia's double. Bullpen is active for San Francisco. George Cantos, former Padre property, big right-hander throwing. Two and 0 to Amarista. Logan Forsythe will hit next. So in that National League Eastern race, with Atlanta beating the Dodgers, but Washington takes care of the Mets 6-4. So Atlanta continues to play great ball. They just can't gain much on the Nationals.
Well, it's going to be interesting with the Nationals and Steven Strasburg. I know you guys talked about that. That's been the hot topic.
Yeah, there are a lot of theories, and there are really some interesting ones. Why not take off a month at the All-Star break and tag it on at the end of the year? Why not go 3-inning starts for a while just to keep you fresh? So you don't get that many innings. Fly ball, center field. Pagan right there. 2 away to Logan Forsythe.
Hey, join your Padres Sunday, August 19th, coming up, folks, as we salute the veterans of the armed services. Come to the park early for a special pregame ceremony before your Padres take on the San Francisco Giants. First pitch is at 1:05. And after the game, kids, if you're 14 and under, you're invited to come on the field for a free batting clinic. Start swinging that shillelagh a little bit. Get your tickets now at Padres.com or get on the horn and call 619-795-5555. A great way to honor the veterans of the armed services right here at Petco Park.
Well, right you are. Forsythe hit by a pitch, struck out, and grounded to short. (9-1) San Francisco. Padres with Denorfia at second. 2 outs here in the 8th. Well, I know, Mark Grant, you've always had great admiration for Matt Cain as a pitcher, not a thrower. Right? He really knows how to pitch a game.
Yeah, early on in his career, I think Matt was a thrower, but through osmosis and just being a big leaguer and learning from teammates, from coaches, he has really honed those skills and learned how to control the fastball a little bit more, because he threw harder when he came up. You know, tonight he's been around 90-91.
Left field, racing over is Blanco, and he cuts off that drive off the bat of Forsythe, and we go to the 9th. Still 9-1. Well delivered. Terrific editing back in our Fox Sports San Diego truck. Capturing the spirit of this game. 9-1. A couple of terrific plays by Logan Forsythe. And fans having fun at the ball yard. Petco, the place to be. We'll see you tomorrow night. Eric Stoltz, Barry Zito, the matchup. Change in time, folks. A 5:35 game, 4:30 for Padres Live pregame show as Dale Thayer comes in. So Bud Black is using 5 of his 7 men in the bullpen, including Gregerson, who goes another scoreless inning. For Gregerson, that makes 18 straight games without allowing a run. He's gone 17 and 2/3 innings, no runs, 19 strikeouts.
That's a cool hand.
Ooh, Thayer a little off on that fastball. And that chases the ever popular Buster Posey out of the box. Posey's 0 for 3 tonight with a walk.
He wanted it down and away, and sometimes when a pitcher, you know, you open up that front side a little bit too quickly, and you really want to try to bury it down and away. Sometimes it'll work against you.
Out of play down in the bullpen of the Giants.
And you just don't get that release point where you need it.
Thayer picked up the save on Monday night, his 6th, with Houston Street on the sidelines, that calf injury. And bad news is they feel it's going to take more than the usual 15-day disabled list for him to get healthy again. Thayer's the man. He's the closer. 3-1. Pence and then Belt to follow in the Giants' 9th. Solemn quarters, the dugout of the Padres tonight. Hit well to right center. And that's going to carry all the way to the wall. Denorfia plays the hop, and Posey has his first hit, a double. .13 total hits for the Giants tonight.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Mark Sweeney did a great job of breaking down the swing of Buster Posey and using his legs, throwing his hands, keeping the head still. And that's just a perfect example of everything working in unison and driving that ball to right center field. One of the prettiest swings you'll see. You know, usually the guys from the left side are the guys with the pretty swings. Buster Posey from the right side. That's
that one hits Pence. Dale Thayer a little wild here. He almost hit Posey, and he does clip Hunter Pence. See where he gets him.
on the elbow, it looks like, huh?
Didn't hit him flush, fortunately. So 2 on with no one out here as they are a bit wild. Brandon Belt comes up. He is 0 for 3. Did walk and score in that huge 8-run third inning. So many Giants fans here, and of course it's a great trip for the fans. San Francisco, it's an easy flight down here to our nation's finest city. Petco Park, a great place to enjoy the game. Of course, they're enthusiastic. The carryover from the World Series title a couple of years ago, and the fact that every game is sold out at AT&T. Some fans can't get good seats.
Looks like a giraffe got out of the zoo.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Oh, how you doing?
Hubba, hubba. Never given the it's my first hubba hubba for a giraffe. I'll admit it.
I never knew a giraffe looked so good.
We knew pandas were good looking, but actually that is my favorite zoo animal. Line drive, base hit. Belt does just that. Belt one to left, and Posey around third to score. And the Giants have hit double figures. Belt's 38th RBI of the year. Now they're roughing up Thayer here in the ninth. Pence stops at second. So Belt's first hit, so everyone in the lineup has a base hit for the Giants tonight, including pitcher Kane.
You know, usually when a hitter gets a ball out in front like Belt did, that's a pitch that they're going to try to pull. He gets in contact with this ball out in front and takes it the other way nicely. Not trying to pull that ball. And of course it was elevated out of the hand of Thayer as well.
So anyway, to finish the point, these Giant fans appreciate a good bargain. They come down to see their team play in Petco. Rewarded with a scoring fest by the Giants tonight in a 10-1 lead. Corey Burns getting ready in the bullpen. If he is called upon, it'll mean the entire pen is seen duty tonight. Another base hit. Pence had to hold, so they put up the stop sign at third base. He had to make sure that line drive went through. Blanco's second hit, and the bases are full of Giants.
Yeah, if Burns comes into this game, as you were mentioning, Dick, the only arm that wouldn't be used would be Brad Boxberger,
who pitched a couple of times in Atlanta, including last night an inning and a third. Gave up a 2-run single to Paul Yanish. And he also worked the Tuesday night game and gave up the 3-run homer to Prado, so he had a rough Atlanta trip. Still no one out. This bringing back memories of that awful third inning for the Padres. Lifted shallow left. Guzman, and Pence is not going to try. One away. Hector Sanchez is going to hit.
College football comes to Fox each week. Aaron Andrews, Eddie George, and Joey Harrington will get you ready for kickoff. Then Heisman Trophy frontrunner Matt Barkley and third-ranked USC, the Trojans, take their first step on the road to a national championship as they take on Hawaii. The premiere of college football Saturday is September 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox.
Rainbows and the Trojans.
Yeah.
Huh? Boy, they're all saying USC is going to be terrific this year.
Strong all the way around, huh?
Offense especially.
Yeah.
My reports. Sanchez hitting for Kane, so Matt Cain won't get his third complete game this year. Switch hitting Sanchez, batting at 279, a little stronger from the left side, 286. 2-0 the count. Bases loaded, one out for the Giants. A run home in this ninth inning. 10-1 game.
Well, Dick, you've got the direct hotline, don't you? To USC. Pat Hayden is the
is a good friend and a colleague,
athletic director. You got the hotline
Good
at
man.
home, the red phone, right? Hey, Pat, what's going on with the Trojans?
Well, I'm well balanced. I've got some connections at UCLA too.
Yeah.
I wish them both well. But right now, I'm a fan of the Aztecs.
Oh, believe that. Rocky Long doing a fine job.
You stay in touch with the other teams, so you root for your home team.
Yep.
And I'm really pleased I'm going to get a chance to call the basketball the Carrier Classic when Syracuse comes to play state.
Oh, very nice.
On the inside corner, strike three. Sanchez caught looking. Two gone, bases full for the leadoff man Pagan. Pagan 3 for 5. Scored a run, knocked in 2. He's not going to hit Pagan. They're going to use Justin Christian, just called up from the minor leagues. Bruce Bochy in a 10-1 game, giving his bench players a chance. I'm going to have this scoreboard, this particular game, cleaned and burned, I think.
Yeah. Straight to the trash, huh?
Don't like it at all.
Yeah, I like a messy Padres side of the car.
There you go. Check with the book to see if this is Christian's first major league at bat. Well, he makes it out, and the inning is over. And we go to the bottom of the ninth, 10-1. To having you here at Petco Park to see the Giants and Padres game 2. Barry Zito, the crafty left-hander, will be on the mound for the Giants. And Eric Stoltz, the veteran lefty who had a terrific game in Atlanta, winning 4-1 on Monday night, will try to follow up looking for his 4th win of the season. That's 4:30 for Padres Live here on Fox Sports San Diego. 5:35, a change in the start time for the game, so be sure you note that. As George Cantos comes in to pitch in the bottom of the 9th inning, Padres will send up Jesus Guzman. Then Cameron Maben was in the on-deck circle, and Yasmani Grandal. Tough night for the starter Ross Ohlendorf. Lasted 2 1/3, gave up 8 runs on 6 hits and 2 walks. Christian stays in the game in left field. By the way, that was not his first major league at bat. He had a couple of at bats with the Yankees a couple of years ago, and last year had 47 at bats.
Justin Christian, now the time has come to play left field.
Love you when you get poetic, huh? Blanco is now the catcher as well. Guzman sends a high fly ball to center. Pagan squeezes the first out. Well, that's Blanco now has moved to center field, makes the catch, and 2 old pals, 2 teammates, Trevor Hoffman, Tim Flannery, before the game, and then Brian Bochy out to give his star reliever a hug. Of course, Bochy still a resident of Poway. Entertained the team. Big barbecue out there last night.
Hey, 2 quality guys there. Tim Flannery, of course, and then Mike Murphy on the left. Mike Murphy was a bat boy with the Sam. There's Murph, the best. He was a bat boy with the San Francisco Seals when they first came west. And he's been the equipment manager, my goodness, for a long, long time. 50 years in baseball.
Look at that cue there. That's going to go fair. If it did it, Maben has a hit. If it did, that was cued so sharply off the bat that it was going clearly foul and kept curling back toward the bag.
That's like that ball in Pittsburgh off the bat of Chase Headley that started foul and had English on it. You can see the rotation once it starts getting that momentum.
So Belt's letting it roll, curl, spin, and boy, ball, Maben, pinch hitter, and all arrive at the same time. It's ruled a foul ball. This is the first time that Maben has pinch hit all season, given the night off as a starter. 2 strikes the count. High fly ball. Benson right for the second out. Does he do anything in an orthodox manner? Hit, run, throw, all different. Pence.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be the first to admit. I'm sure people around baseball. It's not pretty. It doesn't look pretty, but he gets the job done.
31 players used in the game tonight. 18 Padres. Grandal 0 for 3, but he's hit the ball as well as any Padre in the lineup all 3 times. Good contact. Sharp ground ball to short, lined out to center, and fly deep to center. One and one. Nice to see him get a base hit here. He'll come back into the fold. Two and one. Three balls and a strike. Bud Black's going to have to find something to break the curse after the game tonight. 2 runs in 38 innings. And Grandal works a 2-out walk from Cantos, and that'll bring up Yonder Alonso, who doubled in the 5th inning off starter Matt Cain and scored the only run for the Padres. Cabrera got him home on a single.
Well, Eric Stoltz is going to have to work his magic tomorrow night after twirling that game on the road last time out against the Bravos.
After the high fastball. Cantos is 27. Lincolnwood, Illinois, is anywhere near Peoria?
Yeah, not far from Joliet, Chicagoland area. You bet. In fact, I'm good friends with the Cantos family in Joliet that owns Town and Country bowling lanes, don't you know?
High fly ball into left field, and that should do it. Christian is there. The Giants, an impressive win tonight behind Matt Cain, 10-1, and with the Dodgers losing, the Giants are back in first place. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Let's go to Mike Pomerantz.
Hey guys, coming up at the postgame show, we'll have our instructional. You don't want to miss it. How to make that base hit turn at first base. All important, especially if you're the little leaguers out there. Mark Sweeney with a lesson there. Yasmani Grandal will review his first game back from the disabled list. You'll hear from the manager, Buddy Black, and some highlights, including a walk-off win from around the majors.